Good morning. I think that's working. Oh, I can see, this is awesome. You see the reflection? Good morning. Good morning. How are you? What am I doing? I don't know how to work this stuff. Every week I have issues. Today it's the sun. It's the mirror. I don't know if that's ever happened before. That's so funny. I'm blown out. It's fine. How is everyone today? I'm just going to write a few things in here. Comment moderation, all the cross posts, all the things. How are you? Hello. So, what is going on? It is Sunday here in New Zealand. It is. I've had a good weekend. We've had a really nice weekend. It's been stunning weather, so that's helpful. You know what? I wonder, questions. How does that work? I'm just wondering how everyone is doing, and I just really wanted to just check in with people and see how they were doing. If there's any questions or anything that you need help with, let me know. It's been just a lot of like the normal job over the last couple of weeks, so I'm just recuperating from that, so it's lovely. Hey, Mama! Mom's always here. I don't even know what to update or what to talk about today. If you want to check out a topic and I can see what comes up, but I have like, gosh. I was listening to a lecture this morning when I got up out of bed, and it's by a man named Neil Kramer. So he's from the UK, but I think he lives in the States now. And he was talking about, it was a part of the section of the lecture where he's talking about what they call empire, right? He's very big on this idea of empire. And, in the social context, in, life today, what we consider empire, is the government, is all of this, like, these really big ideas. And he said something that actually it sort of resonated with me in a very controversial way. And this does have to do with politics, is the idea about Trump, right? Trump, lovely topic to bring up on a Sunday morning. The idea that it sort of reflects the same idea that I had about him, about how, how he will change everything. He doesn't do it sort of knowingly, I don't think, but that aspect of change is happening because of the fact of him. In all honesty, all of these things, all of these big changes, in social structures are happening because of him, which, if you're like very anti-Trump, I know it's not a good thing to hear, that, maybe it's a good thing he's in office, but I hope, I keep hoping that everyone in the States is like getting by, getting through okay, all of that. So it's been a strange morning in respect to some of the ideas that have been popping up. Very unpopular ideas, but that's okay. Coffee. Now, I have not done much in the way of my website or any of the stuff that I had been working on, just because I'm in a busy season at the moment with my normal job. So everything sort of takes the back burner approach. But I'm going to bust out these cards. These are the ones that I worked on. The light is so bad. It's going to be one of those Sundays, isn't it? Where everything just sort of is up here. Don't know what's going on, and then, you know, something will fall into place, right? Yeah. I'm just going to pull one of my words, and we can talk about the word for a minute, if that works. What else is happening? It's another really still day. So the last day or so, and I posted this on, I don't know if I posted on Facebook, but my personal Instagram account, I posted a picture last night of the sunset that I got to see. I was over on the other side of the city, and it was stunning. Like the water, you know, you look at it, you're like, oh, it's a lake. No, that's like Wellington Harbor. It was so still and so calm that it's sort of eerie. You know, you're sort of used to the weather in this city is like rain and wind, and then beautiful days, and then treacherous rain and treacherous wind and gale force winds, and then a nice day, you know? So I feel like that's sort of where I am personally as well. Like you sort of go through those traumatic times where it's like, you know, death and change and shit's falling apart, and then stillness. And you're like, maybe something's wrong with these still moments. Like they're sort of unbelievable when you get there, right? You're used to like, me personally, I'm used to like this constant change and this constant stuff going on, and then it's just like, oh wait, it's actually calm today and there's nothing going on, and surely something's either going to go wrong, or, you know, just to be able to sit in a place that is calm and relaxed, it's hard. It's really hard to do. Lisa, some can see the silver lining. He's here for a reason. We lived through 4 years of hell to get it, hopefully. Years of heaven. He has been the catalyst for major change in a massively disruptive way. Exactly. He is the catalyst for things to evolve. If we had stayed in the norm, it would just continue to stay the same. Nothing would change, you know? It needs to be a stab. It needs to be multiple stabs to the heart for people to really want to move their minds and their opinions, and move to help people evolve and progress in day-to-day living. I think it's a huge, yeah. I can see the silver lining. I can see the silver lining in pretty much any situation, which isn't a good thing, to be honest. But this is one of those things where people are like, oh, Trump is so bad. You know, the problem is that people are stuck in their old ways, their own old ways of thinking, where they don't understand things outside of themselves. They're happy to be distracted from their own pain. People are happy to be distracted in ways that, you know, it doesn't affect me. It's, you know, and I'm totally guilty of that. There are so many situations where I'm like, it's not affecting me. Why should I give a shit? So it's really brought up a lot for a lot of people, that whole disruptive pattern of it. You know, it had to be that way. It wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I'm happy to see the change, and I'm happy to see people start to understand a little bit more of what's going on in the world. There's another thing that, you know, always sticks with me about what Neil Kramer talks about, and you can Google Neil Kramer. I don't know if everyone will like the way that he speaks or his points on a lot of situations, but some of the things that he does talk about make complete sense to me. And one of the things that he goes back to quite often is, so what I'm listening to now is called The Radiant Shadow. And so your shadow is the part of yourself that you push away, things that you don't want to see that you know are a problem, and they come up at the wrong times. Your anger, your fear, your disappointment, all of that stuff comes up at the worst possible times. And to deal with it is therapeutic. To deal with these things that we've pushed aside, it's therapeutic. It helps us evolve as humans. All of that emotion and all of that is just an intense situation. So what he describes it as, when you can't take someone light and beautiful and inspiring to go into the shadow, to pull out the shadow. You have to be shadow to go into the shadow. You don't take a torch or a flashlight and go like snooping around in the dark. Things will run away. If you go into your basement at night with a flashlight, the mice will run if you have mice. Something like that. You get the idea. If you go and you go as shadow, as you go without light shining, and you go into yourself and you find those parts, those shadow sides are going to become magnetic. So when America and lots of different countries are dealing with their shadow sides, whether it be, from hundreds of years ago, basic human rights in every country struggles with that idea. So with Trump being the shadow side of society, he is the one that can go in and pull out all of this. With Obama, as brilliant as I still think he is such a shining source of energy that he wouldn't be able to pull out people's shadows. He wouldn't be able to work with, people see the optimistic side when they have someone of light. When you have someone that is quite dark, it's easier for those negative traits to get pulled out. We want to fight it. So, total catalyst, but yeah, today, I think I've gotten this word before. I mean, it's not like there's, 100 something words sitting here. So faith. Faith is an interesting word, right? Just this morning I got an email, because I do still get my emails from my church back in the States. I think people that own up to their spirituality in whatever shape or form always have something to say. So I read the emails and stuff, and I do send out positive thoughts to those that are, in that community still. And I was reading, I just sort of glanced at that email this morning, and it was like, I don't remember what psalm it was, but looking at parts of society and what they put their faith into, whether it's a book, whether it's a person, whether it's a concept or a business structure, or, I put my faith into myself. It's not always clear, and it doesn't work all the time. And that's a very hard thing to deal with when I am wrong. Putting my faith into myself, we take ownership, we take responsibility for our own judgments and our words and our actions. A lot of people don't want to look at that. They're happy to put their self outside of themselves. I have faith that even the wrong decisions I make will become the right ones. They will become learning experiences. I have faith that other people will see that. I have faith that other people will see that in themselves. Eventually they'll see themselves as, yes, I may have made the wrong decision here, but I have learned so much from that wrong decision. So I also have faith in other people having faith in themselves, which is a bit of a harder thing to talk about, I think, because we don't have that control. When people put faith in things outside of themselves, they lose control. And a lot of people get very scared about losing control. I am scared of losing control. But, you know, you learn and you grow when you start to look. When you start to look at where you put your faith. I have faith in humanity that they will make the right decisions by making the wrong decisions. That light will come and obliterate whatever is left. So, I have faith that my cards will give me something good, right? I'll be honest, I have not done my cards at all like this week, which is quite interesting. When I talk to people one-on-one, or, you know, even in this context, or, you know, people like in the spiritual communities, they're like, you know, they're like, God, you must meditate all the time. And I'm like, I'm just in a different mental state a lot of the time. I don't, you know, I do have my meditation times, but lately they become like so infrequent. You know, I've done a lot of this work, and I've done a lot, you know, over the last a lot of years to get to this point. Totally lost my train of thought. Okay. Sorry, I just got a really loud message that went, oh, hi, Nicole. My train of thought got interrupted before her message came in, but right, I was talking about meditation in my daily practice. So my daily practice, normally I'll do cards, but I haven't done them at all this week. I got the Ace of Cups a couple weeks ago. It wasn't even, this is like, you know, last week. And I did shuffled, woke up, shuffled, did my card, and I got the Ace of Cups again. Like, it just, when I get multiple cards, even for multiple decks that are the same card, I really have to focus on that card for a while and what that means to me. And then I just sort of let things settle until that card sort of works its way through. So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things, very early things in my life that are at the very early stages. You know, that's sort of what the Ace of Cups means for me. You know, it's these little points of happiness, and just to focus on those. So I haven't been doing my cards very often. You know, I've done them for clients and stuff, but mine has stayed the same for a little while. So we'll see what comes up, and we'll talk about what comes up. And if you guys have any specific questions, just pop them in a comment and I can read them out. Or if it's a very personal thing, you can just message me and I can read it. That's totally fine. I'm just going to cut. So I'll show you what I do. You see my desk. Oh, not really. So shuffling is just really basic. But what I'm doing most of the time, if I'm doing my own cards, I clear my head as much as I possibly can. And then I clear it out and I start thinking about the things in my life. Okay, what about, what do I need to focus on with my family? By that time, something will pop out. Something will just jump out of the deck. But it's just about watching where your thoughts are. So if I do a cut and I go that way, and then I just cut them like that. Really easy. Back to where I was, I think. So I've cut the deck, and the first one is the King of Swords. He's very stable and he's very determined, hey? He's a very masculine energy. It's a very masculine energy. So now this is where I talk to people about how the cards work for them personally. So actions for me are the swords. So I have control. You have control and a logic understanding of your actions. You've worked really hard to get to the point that you're at. In this sense, you can see it properly. The King of Swords looks very stoic, very calm, very chilled, but still very defensive. Like he sort of has this look of like just calm, serene, but strong. So if we have that calm, serene, but strong, there's no, like some of the clouds are very puffy. They aren't moving very fast. There are some cards where you can tell that the wind is moving fast. This is very just like, here I am. I've done what I need to do to get to this point. So our next card is the Eight of Wands. Now with wands, they are the ideas and the thoughts. So we've done all of our actions, but we still have a lot of thoughts to process. We have a lot of thoughts to process in this one. And they're quick and they're sharp thoughts. It's almost like we need to just make that list. Okay, we've gotten to where we need to be. All of these thoughts keep coming and they come and they come and they come and they come and they come. Make a list of those thoughts. Figure out exactly where they are, where they're coming from. Because in this card, everything is just sort of like, it would be like getting attacked by like a barrage of arrows, right? Where are they coming from? What do they mean? What are they doing? All of these new ideas need to be managed in some way. The moon. And the moon comes back to looking really deeply. So we've gone through our actions. We're stoic, we're calm on the outside. We look quite stoic. Our mental issues, though, those quick thoughts, those like nonstop, I'm having this idea, I'm having that idea, I'm having this idea. Writing them down and then looking at them and looking really deeply into them and seeing there are stages of those ideas. Those are stages of those ideas that are more conceptual versus the more logic. The more conceptual ones are those really spontaneous, inspirational points that just wake you up. The logical ones, those can be done on the physical plane. Those, I feel like, they belong with like the King of Swords, who has the logic to take those actions, but the ones that are the inspirations, the ones that are those little lights of those little sparks, of inspiration, those are the ones that we need to look really deeply into. Oh, the sun's coming out again. I'm melting. So if we look really deeply into what we have going on, what we are doing, we need to look deep into, okay, this goes back. I'm going to talk a little bit differently. A couple weeks ago, I did a meditation with one of the groups that I go to, and what I felt was, the end result of this meditation was, words about getting into the flow of where we are as a spirit, as a soul. I could see, there's a river coming down this little valley, and about how it gets directed by the things within, the valley goes this way, you go this way. The valley goes that way, you go that way. And this is very similar to that sort of idea, where we are directed in certain ways and we're dealing with these different energies. We have this on this side, we have that on that side. So we have our inspiration, our sparks of inspiration, we have our logic-based ideas. And keeping those not separated, but somehow bringing them into the same space where we can get into the flow with those physical aspects and the mental aspects, and using all of those quick ideas to be able to push us down the river a little bit more. So we need to look at those quick ideas, those thoughts, and almost sort them so we can get a better understanding of them. Now, this is where I struggle with labels, but it's good to be able to sort them so our human side can understand them a bit easier. And I'm going to pull one more card because I just have to. It's the Six of Cups. And this is something, this goes into some of those ideas. There may be ideas that you're having that you had as a child. Those things that you wanted to do as a child. The things that you were really passionate about, and bringing those sorts of ideas back into your physical plane. And sharing them and being open to share them. I found this week that my boys did a project with their teacher about working with they were talking to an architect, and he was teaching them how to do like the blueprints and the floor plans of places, and how to understand them. And one of my boys was just like, oh my God, it was awesome, and I'm like, yes, that's the same sort of thing that I loved. And that was that same sort of idea where, the things that you loved as a kid really just, they still spark something really pure in you. I have the luxury of having, kids that are creative and inspirational, that their inspiration and their creative side is very similar to mine. So I have that luxury of comparing. So working with that in a way for yourself, looking at those little sparks that somehow come back to you later in life. That's the focus, and sharing those things with the people around you. But we have to identify that, and we have to do it, and if we can share it in a way that is like the King of Swords, very action-based, very stoic, but very like, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. So you've got this logical side of it, and this split of working with the physical realm and your mental realm and pushing that down so those two meet and you're in the middle of this valley going in the flow. Those things just push you in the direction that you need to go. And it's not that it's going to be those earth-shattering changes. It's just going to be those little things that keep you moving every day. The things that spark joy and love and creativeness and that good energy, that good creative energy, those are the things that we sort of need to focus on and work with. So even if those things don't exist in your life anymore, you can look at it and say, how can I get those things to exist in my life again? So you feel creative like a child. You know, you have that childlike creativeness that you can work with. There is almost no limit to kids' imaginations. They don't know what they don't know. And they know what they do know, and they have their own perception of it. So if we can work with those elements, that very childlike, innocent inspiration, and bring it to the table as something mature and strong, that's going to bring you some joy. That's going to bring you some love. And that's something within yourself. Again, that's not looking outside of yourself for that inspiration. That's looking really deeply within yourself to find those things that was just like, ooh, drawing up blueprints. Oh, I loved that, and just to have that little connection with him. For me, that was what we needed that day. He and I, we just needed to connect somehow, and that's how we connected. That was it. And we moved on. We went on with the rest of the day. We didn't really talk about it afterwards, but we had that connection where I was open to it. So it's nice to sort of look at what, the innocent self loves. Yeah. So if we look at it like that, I think that's nice, and it brings a little bit more creativity into what we see and what we feel. It's all about being creative. It's all about finding ways to work in our own creative aspects, because we are creative in so many different ways. His ideas about blueprints might be different to mine, but we still shared that same spark. I hope that makes sense to somebody. It sort of made sense to me. Like, I think yeah, I hope it makes sense to people. Finding that spark is really important. Really, really important. I've been doing a bit more drawing and stuff lately because that's one of those things that brings that spark, I would spend hours just drawing, and seriously, like, I'll spend hours just listening to a podcast and just sketching, listening to music and just coloring, whatever brings you happy, joy, love, peace. You gotta do it. And you gotta find time. It's not that you gotta find time to do it. I schedule that shit in. Like, I don't make plans most of the time, like, late on a Sunday night, because I'm just like, I'm gonna spend an hour, I'm gonna listen to a podcast, and I'm just gonna use my pencils, or I'm gonna do this. There's so much more creativity in every single person than what we give ourselves credit for. I love coffee. Coffee brings me joy. Coffee brings me such joy. So if anyone here, I know there's a couple people still on who haven't ignored my rambling so far. If you have any questions, definitely pop them in the comments, and I will draw a card for you. And a quick message too, um, to my lovely friend Kim. I will write you very soon. I have read the book that you sent. And this is the book, I think I talked about it a few weeks back when I received it. And I'll probably talk more about it, but it's that book Signs. And I think maybe next time I'll share a story of something specific that when we're open to whatever is around us, we can tap into different energy and the things that come through on a spiritual level that we, like those people in our lives, they may not be there anymore, but they are there. So don't lose hope. I know it's hard to understand this, but I'll put together some words eventually with it. And I've got maybe another 10 minutes or so. So should we do one more card? I'll do one more card. And this will be like the giant collective reading, right, for the week. So let's see what we've got. There's a very cute family and a puppy just on the street over there. I'm like, oh, little schnauzer, I think. Oh, it is so cute. I love dogs. I like all animals. And I'll just say, this goes back quite a few weeks. This is like the beginning of lockdown. I posted a hashtag of All Lives Matter. Back in like March, because I was foster parenting all of the plants from my work. I posted All Lives Matter. And now I thought about that today. It's like, oh shit. But it's true, hey, I'm not saying we don't suffer from social shitheads, but all lives matter. All biological beings matter, right? Dogs, cats, birds, animals, lizards, plants, everything matters. Everything fucking matters. I laughed myself this morning, so. Anyway, we'll do a couple quick cards for the giant collective. Are you guys ready? The giant collective of the planet. It's a big call. What the hell is gonna go on this week? What are we gonna focus on this week? Besides this adorable little dog. And mom and daughter in like matching outfits. Oh my gosh, this is the best. I love this place. I love this place. I really do. It's weird. Now, so this week today is the 2nd of August. I want to say, before I start doing cards, happy birthday, Tom. I love you and I miss you. Oh. Oh. Dun 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 dun. Okay. The giant collective plan for this week. There's a bit of shit going on. There's a bit of shit. We are going to have to do some adjusting. We're going to have to do some adjusting. There's going to be, I'm thinking that this is like very specific based on a bit of cultural society, the whole culture, right? The whole of society. The Nine of Pentacles is actually a very lovely card. I do love the Nine of Pentacles. I've gotten it for a couple personal readings for myself lately. And there's this beauty about it. There's this beauty. There's a little snail at the side here. This is for the people that enjoy their lives and understand that the beauty, the beauty that we see, for those of us that are in parts of life that we can really embrace, that we feel secure, that we say, he says, thank you. um, these parts of life that we embrace, this physical aspect where we can see the beauty in life and we can wrap ourselves in this sort of luxury, some of that is going to change. Some of that is definitely going to change. I'll show you the end of the reading. So where we're going to end up is we might become a little more stagnant. We might be holding on to some of the things that we have grown accustomed to. So we're going to go from the Nine of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles. The energy shifts. So you're in this place that is beautiful and it's glorious and it's lush and it's easy and it's sunshine. And then we go to this only because this guy is in the middle. Now, I'll say it every time when this card comes up because people get like, oh shit, who's gonna die? This isn't about dying, this is about change. How the cards came up, we had the Nine of Pentacles, followed by Death was the middle card, followed by the Four of Pentacles. I'm all backwards. So we're looking at these cards in a way that represents our societal outcomes. We have the Nine of Pentacles, who are the lush. I sort of identify with that. The Death card is the change. Something this week, for those of us that are secure, something's going to change and we're going to hold on to what we possibly can hold on to. Now, that might not be a good thing. There are a lot of things that it's healthy to let go of. For that to happen, something has to change. We're going to lose some of that gloriousness. But I don't feel like it's in a bad way. You know, I feel like it's, you know, the realization that we don't need all the shit, right? It's glorious, beautiful, and it feels amazing, and it's just, you know, it's exactly where we wanted to be, and it's surrounded by the things and the pieces that we've built up in our lives. When it gets cut back, when death comes and it takes away something, what are we left with? And it's the things that we are left with that we have to consider. What are the things, if there was a fire, what would we go back and what would we save? We pull back from society, we pull back from a material sense. Like, yes, I would love to stay in the Nine of Pentacles, but I know that, you know, life fluctuates. We change and we grow, and it's always going to be shifting and changing, even if it is in small, tiny little millimeter increments versus, you know, jumping forward kilometers. Holding on to the basics. As long as we can hold on to those things that are our basic needs in life, that are that keep us stable, that keep us grounded, that keep us strong. These are the things that we need to make sure that we're holding on to. That doesn't sound like a very good week, does it? It doesn't sound like a great week, but let's, you know, we focus on, well, I was trying to focus on the positive aspect. You know, in any sort of loss or, you know, change or shift that's going to happen, on the other side of it, we always are left with exactly what we need and exactly what we've asked for. and exactly what we deserve. 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 That's a big word. That's a strong word coming through. It's like we deserve to be treated in a certain way. We deserve this. It's that entitlement. And if we're able to be good people, we're gonna be entitled to more. It's not because I've lived a shit life or because I've, made so much money or da 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 da, which I haven't. Thank you. I'm just in general. Um, we feel entitled to things. Entitlement is very tricky. But if we're living as good humans and we live to the best of our ability, and the things that come to us are what we need. So we are still, it's not like we're totally desolate. We're just sort of going back to basics, which is good. I think a lot of us need to get back to basics. We need to get back to a point that is equal. With it being a four, you have the four posts of your house, you have the four corners. It's stable. Focus on the things that bring stable. Don't focus on this card, because change always happens. Death always happens. Oh my God, I'm so backwards. It happens, and it's not so bad. So see what you've got going on this week. Be open to change and just look at it from a positive aspect of, we'll be okay. It may not be as flash as it was, but we're stable, we're secure. Everything's going to be okay. It's always okay. It may not be exactly what you want, but it's okay. So anyway, all right, I am going to finish my coffee, chill out for a while. Agreed. Yes, things will be fine. Mom, you are the one who has instilled this message into me, and I am so grateful, and I share it with almost everybody that I meet in some way, shape, or form, is that God, the universe, energy, whatever it is, whatever that aspect is of consciousness, God only gives us what it knows it can handle, what it knows we can handle. I can't even say it right. So, you know what I mean. If you know what the phrase is, you know. We're only given the things that we can handle. If we are given beauty and riches and we can handle it, and we handle it with grace. If we are given shit situations, if we are given trauma, if we are given horrible, horrible things, it's because we can handle it. Anything that comes our way, we can handle it. And we can deal with it. We're prepared. Even though we don't feel prepared, we're prepared. So anything like the death card, those major changes, if that comes your way, just know that you can handle it. You wouldn't be experiencing it if it didn't, if the universe didn't think you could deal with it and grow from it. So, yeah. Things in life are shit, but here we are. Anyway, I am going to go and finish my coffee and do some stuff, enjoy my Sunday. Got to get some orders together for people. And if you are here in Wellington, I am doing pickups now on Sunday afternoons if you guys are in the area. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a message and we'll chat soon. And yeah, be well this week. Enjoy it. First week in August. Oh, can hear all the birds. It's good. This is like the first signs of spring. This is Imbolc is happening. That's really good. Keep in touch. Be good. Behave yourselves. I will see you guys next week. And yeah, love you. Love you. Thank you. Mwah. I'll see you guys next time. Mwah, 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 mwah.